Hello there. Welcome to the Blood Diamond Shop. What can I do for you today? You'd like some blood diamonds. I can absolutely help you with that. Please have a seat. Yes, absolutely. I will get right with you. It is merely a custom that I do an ocular pat down of your visage just to make sure that you are the right clientele for our establishment. You know, we don't want to sell these kinds of goods to people who are not worthy. Or what does that entail? It just entails me looking at you, sort of guesstimating where you're from, your ethnicity, and then being a little bit racist in my head, and figuring out whether I want to sell to you or not. How do you feel about that? Good. Well, if you are offended by it, then it does mean that I can't sell it to you. But fortunately, you're not very offended. Yes, absolutely. Well, with that, then, I think you have passed. So let us go ahead and get on to selling you some blood diamonds, yes? So, have you shopped with us before? I don't recognize you, so I don't think you have. Yes, okay. And what are you looking for in particular? We do have blood diamonds. We are the blood diamond store, but we have more than that. We have blood sapphires, blood rubies, blood emeralds. We also have golds and silvers, all blood, of course. And anything that you really want, we have. So, okay, so you're looking for options. I can give you some options. Are you looking for earrings? Are you looking for rings, watches, even anything? Okay, in general, you're looking for a lot. I see. You're recently divorced. Okay, and what does that have to do with? So I see. You're getting, you're spending all the money. I am smart. All right. Well, if that's the case, then I can go ahead and get you started with just some options that I can give you a look. I'll of course give you some price ranges. I'm assuming price itself will not be an option. So, but you want to know how much you're spending just so that yes, absolutely. Totally makes sense. All right. And I have to mention that we do have non-blood diamonds. They're lab grown. I mean, what? It is really, blood diamonds are rare. They're wonderful. They're wonderful things. They've been formed in the earth, and they've been excavated by exploited slaves. I don't support slavery, absolutely not, but there's really nothing I could do about it, I'm simply a bystander who can't do anything about it. But since it already exists, I may as well benefit. So let's just say that this is a beneficial situation. And because we have it, the lab-grown stuff, it feels like it's really it lowers the value of diamonds. And diamonds are very valuable, and you can't just go around making diamonds unvaluable. You can't give diamonds to the masses. What would that do? God forbid they look gaudy. No. We don't want it to look gaudy at all. So this shop is here to preserve the classiness of diamonds. Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, if there is anything else, I'm going to go ahead and get started, yes? Okay, absolutely. Oh, I'm so sorry. What was your name? Oh, yes, okay. Well, the first thing that I'm going to do is we have a little package for new timers here. This package is very important because it will help you get started with what you're really looking at, yes? So, this is very custom. It's we partner with another company to help with this, with the making of this. It's beautifully red, yes, because we want to really evoke the blood. Yes, we want the blood to be at the forefront. This is why people come to us. It's completely ethical, mind you. Just because there is slavery involved doesn't mean that we, do not pay our dues. For every slave that is paid a pittance, we of course donate to the hungry. Yes, yes, we donate to the hungry. We have many donations to many charities. Do not look up who owns those charities, because you might find that they're owned by the same people who owns this company. But does it matter? Charity's charity. So anyway, red for blood. And then we're going to have these nice little patterns just to give you the classiness, yes? Just some classiness to this. And then when we open it, what you'll get is some packets. Yes, these packets are very important. This one features some diamonds, some sapphires. This one features more silver and golds, as well as some watches. So which one would you think you would want to look at first? Because of course we're going to look at both of them. Yeah, look, we can start with this one. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that. Right, there you go. So I'll put that down. Here we have our first thing. So let's start with the cover, yes? So if you wanted to get this sapphire ring, this is a blood sapphire. I personally oversaw the making of this ring. It's very lovely. It's huge, you know. It's massive, but it's cut in a way that really makes your eye glide over it. You know, it's unassuming, but it's very big. It's very big. And then you have little blood diamonds all around it, if you can see. Very, very beautiful. Yes, absolutely. And, you know, they're sourced from different regions of the world. Oh, absolutely, because we have many connections and many people who are exploiting workers. And, you know, you might be wondering why I keep mentioning exploiting workers. It's just because it's really the backbone of this industry. And without them, without the exploitation, we wouldn't really exist the way that we are. And perhaps even we would be a better society for it. But, you know, I'm only a person. There's nothing we can do about that. So we may as well work with what we have and just try to keep the classiness within diamonds. Yes? Okay, so maybe this is not for you, yes? So I don't know how you're feeling about this sapphire ring, but we also have another sapphire ring right here. Now, this sapphire ring is more interesting to me because it is socketed with many different small sapphires. Here, 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 and here. And then it is absolutely covered in diamond dust. Yes, it is actually perhaps one of the most expensive rings that we have. Yes. And, you know, this rose gold, I know rose gold is a bit passé, but it is a trend and people do like it. So what we do have, we can of course exchange the rose gold for regular gold or for silver if you'd like. And of course we do have color analysis stations if you would like to have your color analysis, and perhaps you would like to figure out whether gold or silver would look better on you. But whatever the case is, these two are very, very good options, although I would go with this one, mainly because it's a bit more interesting. This one, it's very big, and it's cut very beautifully, but it's also less expensive. So I think in your situation, you might want to go with this one, yes? So we'll call this one the big sapphire, and this is the little sapphire, yes? Okay, so let's go on to the second page. So this is a simple diamond. It is on an aquamarine paper, simply because we want to give you a little bit of a vibe here, yes? It's very clean. This is a very clean cut. You can see it is 4-pronged. Actually, no. Yes, actually, it is 4-pronged. Was it 6-pronged? I did not oversee this diamond in particular. This was done by my colleague. She is wonderful, yes. And I'll be honest, she has been in the game for a very long time. But this diamond, although the picture is very big, the actual diamond itself, with all the little facets, is quite small. Now, don't let it fool you. A small diamond is still very expensive, and this particular ring with the nice 6 prongs and the whatever metal you would like, gold, silver, rose gold. We do not do titanium here. This is not some form of savage diamond shop, what have you. No, but this is going to be sort of your everyday diamond. Yes, if you want to have a diamond, just for every day, perhaps having a diamond and making it seem like you don't want people to know that you're divorced. This would be a very good option, just to glide under this, to keep it under the radar. Yes, so I think this is a very good pair, and it's very good to pair with a band. Yes, so if you have a sort of a gold band or a silver band, you can pair it with this, and it looks brilliant. It looks wonderful. Okay, and then we have here, these are a pair of cufflinks. Yes, so this is pretty interesting because it is mainly silver, gold, or some form of metal. You do have nice inlays, very, very subtle. A very lovely pattern carved in, and then you do have actually the teeniest blood diamonds, and they're very, very small, so we can make a ton of them. They're on the cheaper side because cufflinks, nobody cares about cufflinks, and if I'm being honest, it's really so that we have something to sell to the more masculine type of person who is a little bit nervous about buying sort of a blood diamond of some kind, and a lot of the time this ends up getting paired with some form of ring or necklace of some kind, and it's so that the masculine person doesn't feel left out, but that doesn't mean that we don't take making this very seriously. Okay, so these are very, very important, and if you potentially find someone, or you yourself want to wear something that involves cufflinks, this is a very, very good option. Now, next we can go over this lovely necklace. Yes, look at that. This diamond, I personally saw the excavation of. Can you believe it? Yes, I went and I saw, and it was a glorious time. I mean, it wasn't really glorious. It was, in fact, very horrifying and perhaps even traumatizing, because, as you may know, the conditions in which the excavation of diamonds are, it's really inhumane, one would say, but it beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And this particular design with this sort of it's circular, but it's also not. You see how it's faceted? It's faceted in many different ways so that it's a little jagged. Jagged is the word I'm looking for. It is, of course, 4-pronged. So what that ends up meaning is that this is not your everyday blood diamond. This is a diamond for you to go out to eat with, to flaunt a little bit. It's a little small. It's not very big, but the elegance is in how small it is, so that when someone comes in, they give you a little mwah, mwah, just little kisses, in greeting. They'll notice it, and then they'll feel intimidated. Yes, you want them to feel intimidated. And of course, we have this lovely gold chain. We can put diamonds all over the chain if you'd like. It does end up pushing it towards a bit more extravagant. It's more noticeable then, and ups the price a lot. But it can be worth it, especially if you don't care about blending in of any kind. So that is a very, very, very good option. Okay. And lastly, for this booklet, I believe this is last. Actually, no, there are 2 more. Excuse me. So, of course, we have this watch. Now, I said the other one had watches. This is the only watch here within this booklet. This watch is, of course, more of a feminine watch. You can tell it's feminine because we line it with diamonds. masculine watches don't tend to have diamonds in them. We tend to make them bulkier and a bit more brutalistic. This is, of course, very elegant. You can see we have lined we have put in the 12, 3, 6, and 9 clock spaces. We've put diamonds. And then, of course, there's a diamond in the center here. And, of course, the nice gold clock hands. Now, here's what's special about this, yes? The internal mechanisms are all either gold or diamond. Now, you might think, that's really crazy, yes? Like, is that really practical? It's not practical, but what it is it's extravagant. So, you cannot see it in this picture, but if you were to flip it, there's actually a nice crystal surface where you can see all the diamond inner workings. And it's actually reversible. So you can wear the clock. But of course, we all have phones now. No one needs a watch anymore. So you'd rather flip it around and you'd get the inner workings. Now, what this ends up doing is it makes you look like a tinkerer, makes you look smart, makes you look mysterious. Ooh, who is this person that has this wonderful gadget that is both gold and diamond? That is brilliant. So don't overlook a nice watch. And lastly, something I would like to mention is, of course, our pearls. Yes, these pearls are one of a kind. They are, we are not a pearl shop, but we do offer it simply because we feel like a lot of people end up wanting pearls. And if you want a pearl in an earring, in a ring, in what have you, in a necklace, in this form, we can, of course, put diamonds, sapphires. I, in fact, have here an example. Here we have an earring that is a pearl with some sapphires right here on the top. And what that does is it highlights the brilliance of the pearl, and it creates depth, because the sapphire itself is beautiful. But if someone's going to get close to you, say this, because this is an earring, yes? So if someone gets close to you and you have it on, it's going to dazzle them. It's going to absolutely dazzle them. So pearls are not something to overlook in combination. Okay? Okay, so that was the first booklet. So now we shall look at the second booklet. Yes, so this is what we just looked at. We're going to look at this one next. Okay. So, we're already starting strong. This is all silver and diamonds. Now, you might not have noticed, but there's this diamond here. This is a very, very beautiful diamond. Lovely, lovely diamond. 4-pronged. So it's, 4-pronged means that it's secure, but it's not for harsher activities. Yes, you don't want to be out and about. You want to be sitting. You want to be, in a place of a fine place of an establishment that's pretty fine. Yes. And the next thing that we want to notice is that there is another diamond right up here, another 4-pronged one. Yes, that is the hidden gem, quite literally, within this necklace. Now, this necklace, because you have these two, what it ends up doing is this one is because, this diamond has been, it took a lot more effort than this one. This is a supporter diamond. Yes, it supports the big diamond. Its beauty shines into the other diamond, and it really accentuates both of them. And of course, we have the silver chain all the way across that you can get. Yes. Okay. Now, of course, we can change it to gold if you'd like, but I think this one really works with the silver. So next we have this. Now, this is more of a concept because right now these are patterns of earrings, and we like to put them in gold, but we could have them be made of anything, including a diamond, a sapphire, a ruby, or an emerald. The main reason we don't have it out is because it doesn't have... it's very expensive to do it, and we want to make sure that the right client who orders them gets exactly what they want, and we aren't wasting resources. You know, we're very practical here. We care a lot about the environment. We want to make sure that any diamonds that we excavate, any precious gems that we excavate, and all of the terrible, terrible gases that we end up releasing into the air due to our, excavation, that is offset by our, our love of the environment. Yes. So this is something to keep in mind. And we have other patterns, of course. And this is simply to get you started. Yes, to understand that these are options that you can have. Next, we go into our first masculine watch. Now, this masculine watch tends to be very silver. It's very practical. It has sort of the temperature, the date, what have you, all of these bits and bobbins. But what makes this interesting is that it will end up being very, very expensive, because this is not just pure silver. It's silver with a hidden layer of blood diamonds. We want to put diamonds in everything, because diamonds are really important. But because sort of masculine jewelry and masculine watches tend to be a bit more brutalistic, they tend to not want diamonds, putting the diamond as a layer, a thin sheet layer in between all of this ends up upping the price with very little to show for it. And I think that really works for people that really want blood diamonds, okay? So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know if it's right for you necessarily, but it's very, very important. Okay? And then next we are going to go into our first golden bands. Now, by bands I do mean bangles. These do go around the wrist. Now, these are nice in gold. Now, you might think, oh, this looks like any old gold bangle, but it's really not. Okay, because here, let's give you a closer look. There is a nice, lovely reptilian texture imprinted upon these this bangle. And what ends up happening is that these two are actually fixed in place. They may look like they separate, but they don't. They're very fixed in place, and they actually have ridges to keep them sturdily locked together. And so it catches the light in a very, very beautiful way. Yes, this does. So it's really something to keep in mind. And bangles, bangles are one of those things where they're very, very beautiful, but they're a little uncommon. And they're uncommon because oftentimes sort of wristwear, and if it's not a watch, wristwear tends to look a bit juvenile and a bit excuse me for saying this, but it's a bit foreign. Yes, it's those foreigners end up wearing stuff like this, and so it really scares our clientele, and so we end up having these options, and they're very beautiful. But if it's not right for you, please do not. The last thing we want to do is to make you feel uncomfortable by the idea of foreigners. So next, of course, we would like to show you this. Now, of course, red. What does that tell you? This is all blood. Yes, this is blood gold. Yes, absolutely. Now, blood gold with a lovely, lovely, sort of more sleek design. It's a little bit androgynous. It's not very masculine, but it's also not very feminine. It's a very simple, everyday wear piece that has just, a touch of blood to make sure that everyone knows where your morality stands. Yes, absolutely. Okay. And then here we're going to talk a bit about some amethyst earrings. Now, amethyst works very well with gold, which is what this is, but it also really works very well with the fact that this has very small dots of diamonds right on top of it. Blood diamonds, they accentuate any color that's around them. So we really make use of that in our shop. And we also have here lovely gold clasps to hook it onto your earlobe in case you don't have your ear pierced. Now, you might be wondering, what's the point of that? If anyone's getting earrings, they definitely have their ears pierced, and of course, it does support that. But we also understand that sometimes the holes in your ears end up closing up due to misuse or due to simply not having an earring in there for a very long time. So we end up trying to accommodate that with this type of jewelry. Okay? Okay. So with that, we have gone through the second book, and that is going to give you a better idea of what we have to offer. So if you go ahead and get seated, actually, these are the two we just went through, and I'm going to go ahead and give this to you. I'm going to need you to get seated, and I'm going to end up giving you a form, yeah? That form you're going to fill out with all of the things that have interested you. I will go to the back end, find some nice pieces of jewelry for you, and then we'll go ahead and pick out the ones that you like the most, okay? Okay, so you go ahead and go do that. I will continue working, and actually one of my colleagues might come and help you, okay? Okay, then it was lovely talking to you. And please remember, blood diamonds are perfectly ethical. We just have to remember that there's nothing that we can do about it. So if it just happens, it happens, and we just have to benefit from it, okay? Okay, well, you have a good one. Bye-bye.